You're listening to Inside Lebo, a podcast giving you an inside look at Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office.
Hello and welcome to Inside Lebo. I'm your host, Assistant Municipal Manager and Municipal Planner Ian McMeans.
And I'm Assistant Public Information Officer and Senior and Online Editor Rachel Windsor.
Thanks again for joining us, everyone, on the show. So today, our Public Information Office has two new summer interns that we'd like to introduce you to.
So please welcome Mount Lebanon High School class of 2022 grads, Adrienne Cahillane and Tess Reinhart. So just before we get into the interview portion, just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of the summer internship that we have with Mount Lebanon Magazine. So we look for college students, preferably somewhere around their junior year, that are doing a degree that's a little bit writing intensive, maybe journalism, poli-sci tied into it, anything that's sort of in the realm of writing, government, political science type things. So, our interns work on a variety of stuff over the summer. They work on writing articles for the magazine, whether it's new businesses that are opening, community features, profiles of people in the community, or even things for our online blog, online-only content. They'll also get the chance to work on things like social media, understanding the production schedule of a magazine, and just sort of behind-the-scenes look at how government, especially at the municipality, works. So why don't we start by having both of you tell us a little bit about yourself. What college are you going to? What year are you going into?
I can start. I'm Tess. I go to the University of Notre Dame, and I'm a rising junior.
Great.
I'm Adrienne. I go to Pitt, so just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road. And I grew up in Mount Lebanon, and I'll be a junior in the fall.
Perfect. And what sort of schools did you guys go to whenever you were here in the Mount Lebanon School District?
I went to Foster for elementary school, then Mellon Middle, and then the high school with Adrienne.
Great.
Yeah, I went to Hoover Elementary, then Jefferson Middle, and then I graduated from Mount Lebanon High School.
Very cool. And so what would you say, really attracted you guys to working with us for the summer?
I first heard about this internship actually from a friend and previous public information intern, Anna Mares. She told me to apply, and I read through the job description, and it all sounded really interesting because I also really like to write, and I like to write things that reflect the community. And I thought it would be a really great complement to working at the Pitt News this summer also. And I also really like how the interns get to produce so much content for the blog and the magazine, and it just sounded like a really good work environment.
Yeah, mine is a very different process, I would say. I was just mass applying to a ton of internships during the second semester of this past school year. And I was talking with a friend who was studying very similar things to me at school, and she was like, you should reach out to one of your local magazines or newspapers and see if they do some sort of internship program. It's probably nice to go home for one more summer, save some costs living at home, and just spend time in a community that you know a lot about already. And so I just looked up Mount Lebanon Magazine, summer internship, and then lo and behold, you guys had an internship, which I didn't know about before. So then I applied and interviewed, and here I am.
That's great. Well, we're very happy to have you. So for your respective undergraduate programs that you're working through, is an internship a requirement, or is it just something you're kind of going out and doing on your own to bolster your resume?
For me, it's a requirement through my minor, which is called Journalism, Ethics, and Democracy. So kind of an all-encompassing journalism minor. But I think I would definitely do it regardless. What about you?
At Pitt, it's a little different. So I'm majoring in public and professional writing with the English department. And in the English department, you can either do an internship somewhere or be a tutor in the writing center or a teaching assistant. And I chose the internship route, and I'm glad I did because it's been a great time so far.
Great. Well, I'm glad that you have positive things to say about your experiences. So I know you're still very new into the summer. Summer is very fresh, but what kind of things are you working on?
So a lot of my work so far with Mount Lebanon Magazine has included speaking with a lot of local businesses. There's a really exciting local business coming up that's being opened by a Mount Lebanon resident So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. And I've also reached out to some people with the volunteer fire department to do some volunteer fire department profiles. And I've also just worked on some social media posts that will be sent out later this month.
Yeah, for me, I really like that it's pretty self-paced so far. We get to pitch articles and do research, but it's sort of, there will be the deadlines that Rachel kind of sets for us, but then aside from that, you get to pace your day sort of, and every day doesn't look the same, which I've really enjoyed. So I've been working on just gathering some interviews for a story about the Senior Men Golf Club's 60th anniversary, which is coming up. And then this story about senior photography in Mount Lebanon for high school students, which is kind of a big thing that happens in the summer before your senior year, and just starting to talk to photographers, seeing how the process has changed over the year. But it's been really rewarding talking to people, whether over the phone or just in person, because I feel like at school a lot of times interviews are just students or it's just requesting emails, so it's definitely nice to have more of the personal touch.
Cool. That's great. Sounds like, you're jumping in off the deep end and doing a lot of exciting things. So we're going to take a short break here, and then we'll be back with more on Inside Lebo. Welcome back to Inside Lebo. We're here today with our two Public Information Office summer interns, Adrienne and Tess. So for those longtime listeners of the show, you may remember last year when we interviewed our summer interns at the Public Information Office, we took a portion of the show and let them actually interview each other, which wound up being a lot of fun. So we're going to do the same thing again this year. Rachel and I are just going to take a step back and let you interview each other. And if you have any questions for us, we'll jump in, but have at it.
Okay, sounds like fun. So, Tess, we both just started at Lebanon Magazine, and we kind of talked about this a little already, but how's the first week going? It's been about a week since we both started.
Right. It's been great. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, I really like that every day looks different, and you can set your schedule, you can set your hours, but you're not doing the same thing every day, whether it's like your writing process is changing or you have a ton of interviews in one day, or one day is dedicated to just writing your stories or writing a blog post, working on social media like you've been doing. I really like that it's not consistent in that sense, so I'm never getting bored of writing, I'm never getting bored of interviewing. It kind of keeps the ideas and content fresh.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
The first week has also been going really well. I love the smaller community-oriented work environment, and I really like that here at the Public Information Office, it's very hands-on, and we get to do more than just write content. And I also like how the interns play a role in creating and sourcing content.
Definitely. Do you have any, I know we just finished our halfway point sort of in our college careers. Do you have any aspirations career-wise, going forward, or any dream job? I know that's kind of an ambiguous question.
No, that's a good question. I definitely feel that whatever job I end up in will be very writing heavy, because that's kind of what I'm good at and that's kind of where I excel. I've thought about law school, I've thought about journalism, I've thought about sort of like corporate communications or public relations. There's no definite dream job or dream plan, but I would say law school and journalism are top contenders for sure.
Definitely.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm very similar. I would say I used to think that law school was like the only answer. You kind of need like a clear path post-college, post-high school. But now I'm starting to think with more of a broad liberal arts education that I'll just kind of go wherever the job takes me. I definitely would love to work in media or entertainment at some capacity, but whether that's actually writing or being on TV, speaking, like something like this, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, very similar to you.
Yeah, I know that during the school year you're very involved with the Scholastic at Notre Dame, and you're going to be managing editor in the fall. So how does the writing from the Scholastic at Notre Dame, which is its own small community, how do those skills transfer into this internship at Mount Lebanon Magazine?
I would say it transfers pretty well. I mean, the interviewing processes don't really change from publication to publication in my experience, at least so far, which is limited. But I would say my knowledge of the more technical side of things, like AP style and interviews and how to be concise and get rid of sort of the fluff, is good for a magazine just across the board. And you're with Pitt News. Can you talk a little bit about that next year?
Yeah, so next year at Pitt News, I will be the multimedia editor, which is something I'm not super familiar with, but my predecessors both said that I would do a great job and they think I can handle it. And that's very video heavy, so whether that's making short form video content for the Instagram and other social media channels, or a long form video essay just to post on the internet, I'll have a lot of different responsibilities, but it's kind of going to be self-paced and what you make of it, but I'm excited for it. And the last 2 years I've just been doing news writing, so it'll be a very interesting switch.
Awesome.
So one other question I have for you is, what do you hope to learn from this internship?
At this internship, I guess I really am hoping to become a more organized and professional writer in a sense. I think obviously organization is very important to any job that you take on, but because it is so self-paced, like we've been saying, spreading out your work and sort of delegating throughout the days, I think helps your thoughts be organized clearer. And it's nice to be able to revisit an article days on end before it's published to make sure that what you're saying is exactly what you want to say, because when we're working with writing, your words are so important, and being able to articulate that clearly and carefully, because this does affect people in the community that are reading it, I think is really important. And that is something that could go for any level and any job that deals with writing and communication. So I hope to be a better communicator in the writing sense. What about you? What are you hoping to glean from this internship?
I definitely agree with you about learning AP style. I feel like I'm constantly using Oxford commas, and it's just become this sort of just this habit, this subconscious habit of using an Oxford comma. And there's just some other AP style things. I hope to be more efficient with AP style, and I find myself having to go back and edit the correct AP style into my writing, and I hope to just be a seamless writer while incorporating AP style. And I also just hope to learn more about the local government and just more about how a magazine's put together.
Definitely. I agree.
Great. Well, we're really excited to have both of you here, and it seems like you're already starting to learn a lot, which is really great to hear. One parting question that I wanted to see if you two would be able to answer is, what would you say to a student who might be on the fence about doing an internship, not necessarily with Mount Lebanon, but really anywhere in general, as college students that are sort of getting their feet in the water in the workforce?
I would say just do it. I think obviously it's different for Adrienne and I because we get to live at home and our commute is 5 minutes. So taking on a new city would be a bit of a task to undertake. But even in that way, I would say just do it. I think it's really great to sort of get a first day in the life to see if you're cut out for a certain career path or position. There's really no way to know if you like it or if you're any good at it without giving it even a small try.
Yeah, I agree with Tess, and that was a really well thought out answer. I feel like even if you're on the fence, you should just do an internship, because no matter what sort of field or industry you're in, you will learn skills that will benefit you. For example, learning about an office environment, learning things like writing and just other professional skills. You'll just learn so much that'll benefit you, and even if you're not sure what you want to do, I say just do an internship, because you'll make lasting connections that will benefit you no matter what you do.
That's great. And I know that our interns in the past have had a lot of success with winning awards too. They've won some Golden Quill Awards from the Press Club of Western Pennsylvania. The most recent Golden Quills just happened a few weeks ago, so it's kind of fresh in our mind of, that our interns have contributed a lot of very significant content to the community. So we're very thankful to have the program. And I think it's kind of a unique program that not a lot of local governments do something like this. Not a lot of communities have a full, magazine that gets published 10 times a year, plus a full slate of public information offerings from multimedia, our social media pages, our municipal website, and everything else that we do. So hopefully you both have a great experience here this summer, and we'll learn a lot of different things that'll be applicable for you. And best of luck this summer and as you move forward in your careers. And thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us today.
Thanks for having us.
And that's going to be it for this episode of Inside Lebo, produced by Carrie Munoz, with music by Drew Munoz and graphics by Chris Lieber.
We'll be back soon with another episode. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office. Learn more about all things Lebo at mountlebanon.org or by following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.